about what we're going to talk about. But I got me a long drive. I'm actually going to get a new tattoo here. And on the way, I was listening to the news and I heard something a bit disheartening. We'll get into that. Also, have been diligently working on the best clipper of 2025. And I thought it'd be fun to get out here and just kind of ask you guys your opinion. And fourthly, before we even get started, I want to shout out the sponsor of today's video, Booked In. Right now, they're offering 50% off your first 3 months. You guys can head over to bookedin.com/Eddie and redeem your offer today for up to 50% off your first 3 months. With the housekeeping out of the way, guys, let's dive right in, man. Everybody hit me up. Where you checking in from? What's the weather like up there? And everything like that. Down here, it is rainy. We're in Naples, Florida, but the weather is great, 75 degrees. I just actually finished up another one of those big trimmer shootouts, all on the same customer, so you guys can get a better idea. Now that YouTube allows us to upload longer shorts, I'm actually able to show the whole thing. Appreciate the thumbs up, you guys. Now that they allow us to do that, I'm actually able to show a little bit more. You know, before we were just in such a crunch to try to, like, if I'm going to do, I think there's like maybe 10 trimmers in that. If I'm going to do 10 different trimmers and give each one a pass, it's very, very difficult to cut the video down to 60 seconds and give everybody, all the companies an opportunity here. One new company that made it on the list, some of you guys seen, that was Cocco. I got to say, the Cocco blade is pretty damn good. But nothing is without its drawbacks a little bit. From what I understand, the warranty stuff with that can be a little bit difficult to deal with. So I actually know of a couple distributors that are not wanting to carry them anymore, which is a shame because the product, if you had the experience I did, you would probably enjoy the product. It did get loud because I dropped it, but other than that, I got nothing to complain about. Only time will tell. He said the Saber trimmer is the best with the 3/8" blade on it. Yeah, that's good. That's definitely a good combo. You can't go wrong with that. All right, real quick, y'all, real quick. Before we get into the actual minutia about what happened, what's your guys' favorite store to stop by? I'm going to be real with you. Mine is Harbor Freight. I got it's like every time I pass by Harbor Freight, I just can't help but swing in and check out some of them good deals. It's kind of like, if you guys don't know what Harbor Freight is, it's kind of like a really cheap place to get mechanical stuff, sockets, wrenches, whatever you might need if you're working on something. Greetings from Fort Wayne. There you go. Man, I had a good time in Fort Wayne. I think that is a beautiful city. And, there's a part of me that did not want to go home. I thought that everybody in Indiana and Fort Wayne, I got to give it to you guys, man. You guys were some genuine, awesome, hardworking people that took me in as if I was family. So, really thought on the other hand, was dope too, and it's crazy driving there, y'all. All right, so let's get into it. Let's address the elephant in the room. For whatever reason, all right, barbers have this kind of competition that they sometimes do between shops. They compete for everything. Sometimes they compete for women. Sometimes they compete for, just whose haircuts look better, or who's more on it with their customers, who's got better customer service, who's cleaning and who's not. It can get really frustrating when you're the guy who cleans the shop all the time, and these other guys are like, screw you, I don't want to clean. Like all of this stuff, all this little stuff here. Harris supporter, you got me fucked up, boy. We Trump 2024. We on the train, we down here. But nah. So anyways, got me sidetracked, bro. When you get down to it, some of these little divisions that we have in the shop can turn into some pretty big issues. And I have seen this, I've seen things boil over in the shop plenty of times, but never to the extent of what I read. And I know this happens and has happened before, but it just so happened like yesterday. You got a guy, he's 53 years old, The other guy is 38. I don't know what all happened. You guys can read the news, on it. It was in Atlanta, if I got this correct. But the 38-year-old shot the 53-year-old, and I believe he was a father of 4. They said he was a devoted father of 4, and he immediately turned himself into authorities. Like, he didn't, and when you see something like this, you think to yourself, like, okay, he obviously had a moment of anger that he couldn't control, and it led to this. And he probably knew right away, the moment he did it, he probably knew right away he made a mistake, and his life was pretty much over. So when you get right down to it, there's nothing that serious that we need to be worried about at the shop. Sometimes, like, you might get a little aggravated with one of your coworkers. Maybe he's not cleaning. So what, man? Suck it up, clean it, look out for one another. It really should be a family environment. And when you really got, like, divas in the shop, there's cancerous people in the shop, unfortunately, sometimes the owner has to cut that out. But really, it should be on you guys. Like, all the people who are working there should be making an effort to look out for one another. Because I'll tell you why. It's really hard for me to treat you like shit when you treat me good. At the end of the day, when you treat me well, if I see that you go the extra mile, that you looked out for me when maybe I fell behind, maybe I needed a little bit of help, maybe you swept up for me, maybe you cleaned something on my station. Like, it's really hard for me to treat you bad afterwards. I just can't do it, right? So if we look out for each other and we don't talk bad about each other, like, it is so beneath a man. And that's why, like, I get on some of you guys in the comment section from time to time, because, like, I'll be doing a haircut, somebody come in, that's a bad haircut, that line's crooked, you did this, you did that. And realistically, I got thick skin. I could give a shit less with somebody sitting in his mom's basement thinking he's smarter than Elon Musk, writing his comments about my haircut. Like, I could give a shit less about that. But the reality of it is, it's beneath a man. It's beneath a man to talk bad about another man. There is no reason and no excuse that you should talk bad about somebody when they leave the room. It really just doesn't lead to anywhere good. And at the end of the day, it's not healthy for you. And that is a feminine trait. Women can do that type of stuff because most of the time, the women don't wind up getting into an actual fist fight. And if they do, they hardly even hurt each other. Real men learn that at a certain point, we will punch each other in the mouth. It will come to a physical thing. And that's why usually we have a little more respect for one another. But at the end of the day, man, if you guys are in a shop right now, not even just a shop, man, it could be anywhere. It could be you're working anywhere and you get frustrated with a coworker, something stupid happens, you got to be mindful of this stuff. When I seen this story, I just thought to myself, there's 4 kids right now. There's 4 kids who just realized that their dad's not coming home. And I can't think of anything worse. I really couldn't think of anything worse. And nothing is worth that. So I just thought, like, it'd be cool to come on here and just kind of, like, talk about that stuff too. Usually it's the young guys, 17, 18, 16, 15. I was probably my most wild, I would say, my most out of control, probably when I was like around 14, 15 years old. And I know a lot of these young guys that are in some of these neighborhoods, they grew up like I did, that sometimes you feel like you ain't got nothing to lose. But the weird thing about this one is the kid was 38. Usually by that point, by the time you turn 38, you shouldn't be looking to have fights. You shouldn't be looking. It's funny how 50 Cent said it. He goes, it's the broke motherfuckers out here trying to start shit. And I actually think that's 100% true. You listen to 50 Cent sometimes, man. You might think that, like, some of the stuff he says is just, in one ear and out the other. But I listen to 50 Cent sometimes. I think to myself, like, this dude is really on it. He's really on it. Because he's like, when you're doing good, you ain't got no reason to do that. And hopefully, by the time you turn 38, you are starting to mature. And you are starting to do things a little bit differently in life. And, even if it's just a newer thing. But really, when you get right down to it, when you're young, some of these people they don't see a future. I remember there was a time that I didn't feel like I seen a future either, and now I'm just kind of so grateful that I was able to push through that type of stuff. So if it happens to be that you find yourself in any of these situations, anything with these co-workers, with these whatever, just know, man, just know that it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. So he said, in youth, we feel as if we got something to prove. And we do feel like that. I mean, really, it's just human nature. Biologically, we were supposed to fight. We were supposed to make war. We were supposed to hunt. We were supposed to be outside. And a lot of people's lives are now like sitting behind the computer. None of that is happening. And it's just, some of this stuff comes out in weird ways. Damn, that dude just cut him right off on the highway. I bet you he's going to Harbor Freight. He needs to get that coupon. He's get that coupon for the free measuring tape. So you can put it next to his 6 other free measuring tape. It's so true. All right, you guys. Well, I got a bunch of you in the house. Let's just do a quick little vote. What is your favorite personal clipper? I'm writing out the script. I mean, I really should find a place to share these scripts, because I think sometimes you guys see the video and everything, and that's all well and good, but like the scripts aren't that long. They're not very long. I have like pictures of the tool that I'm talking about, the grades, and how it arrived at that, how I arrived at that grade and everything like that. So the best clippers in the industry now, there are just so many clippers out here, and a lot of them are really good. And if you guys had watched the trimmer video, something I said in that video was there really isn't any bad trimmers on that list. Just because you see me grading them and trying to like kind of help people to place them to make your decision, that doesn't mean that when I said the Sabre wins, that doesn't mean that anything else on that list was bad. It certainly does. It wouldn't be on the list. When I make these videos, it is the best of 2025. We're going into 2025. So this is the best that the industry currently has to offer. And I put that on the list. So I was sitting here trying to make a decision about whether the Andis Black Label Masters, whether they belong on this list. And there's a part of me that thinks that they do. So I'm gonna probably put them in the conversation, as well as all the other ones. So sound off in the comments right now. What is your favorite clipper? Even if you don't have it, like, what is the clipper that you guys think is the one that you would say is the best one that is currently out right now? Just out of curiosity. All right. Hey, what's up, Stortman? I'm kind of casually glancing at some of these comments. He said, thank you to Bills. He said, thank you for the Bills for handling KC, their first loss. That was so good. I didn't expect that, y'all. I'll be real with you. I did not expect a win like that. I hoped that we would win. I had a feeling that we might not, but I was real happy when we walked away victorious there. But it's kind of like Josh Allen said. He goes, it's a good feeling. I'm happy to win, but the job ain't done. And realistically, if you think this game mattered that much, it really don't. Because when we get into the playoffs, you guys already know how the Bills typically go. All right, so we got one vote here. He said, please, everyone, please pray. I have a disability. I hope you find a way to get over your disability, or at least manage it. Actually, there's a police officer in my neighborhood, and for the longest time, we trick or treat the house and everything like that. I used to see him. He was a pretty big guy, nice guy. Took pictures with my son with the squad car in the back when we were trick or treating at his house. Poor guy, man. I see him in the gym. He had a stroke. He could barely walk. But I gotta say, man, the guy's got the spirit of a lion, because this was like maybe 2 months ago when it happened. Every single day I go to the gym, I see him there fighting to try to get better. And I think to myself, like, if this guy who could barely walk right? This guy could barely walk. He has a lot of trouble talking now. He stumbles, but he climbs his ass on the treadmill, and he fights for every inch of it. So I think to myself, what would my excuse be? You know, to me, it's been inspiring. Like, I look at these things and I think, like, that is inspirational, because this guy here, he's got all the excuses in the world. I had a stroke. I could stay home, but he's fighting to get better. So I just kind of look at that and I think, what would my excuse be if I couldn't get myself to the gym? Like, when I see somebody like that, you look at some of the people, you know, with missing limbs that are going to the gym. You see people running marathons with no legs. You see all kind of stuff, and you think to yourself, like, what would my excuse be when I see a guy with no legs running a marathon? Like, why couldn't I put myself in a little bit better of health? All right, Sarge the Barber, he says, my favorite clipper right now is the Saber 2.0. I got to agree with you guys. I got to agree with you. There's, you know, I really never thought that it was so important to have that sound when you cut. That shink, shink, shink. Like, dude, that sound when you cut, and it's a distinct sound. Like, it doesn't matter if the radio's on. It doesn't matter if the shop is noisy. So I'm going to tell you guys a quick little story. You guys were maybe watching the live when I used the Andis MV2, right? If I had used the Andis MV2 prior to using the Saber, I probably would have just said, you know what? It's an all right clipper. It's a budget clipper. I wouldn't expect too much from a budget clipper. Don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing the two. But what I'm saying is, I just had no haptic feedback whatsoever. I couldn't feel it crunch. I couldn't feel it vibrate. And I really couldn't be sure if I was accomplishing what I was setting out to accomplish while I was using the Andis MV. Now, going back to the Saber, I never really thought much about noise when I cut hair. I've been cutting hair for so long, I never really gave it much of a thought. But since I started using the Saber, man, I mean, I'm getting things done better and faster, because you hear the shink, 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 and then you hear it stop. Now you know, well, this number one's not cut no more. There's only one thing you can do: switch steps. So you kind of know when it's time to switch steps, and it gives you a much better idea of when to do that. So I gotta say, as it turns out, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I was wrong. I should apologize to Rigo, because before I used to think using my eyes was, you know, all I really needed. I said to Rigo, I don't care what it sounds like, bro. I just care that it works right. And he was like, nah, you don't understand, man. If you got the sound right, you're gonna cut hair better. And I was skeptical, but I let it be. And now here we are. Saber has done really good sales. A lot of people have them now, and you know, here we are. So I gotta say, he was 100% right, and I'm not afraid to say I'm wrong when I'm wrong. And that's, you know, kind of how that one went. But if you use your eyes, you could certainly, now I see you said use your eyes. If you use your eyes, you can certainly do good haircuts. I'm not saying you can't. We get, I got headphones on sometimes. I'm using, you know, I'm not really paying that much attention to noise. But when you're new at cutting hair and you're kind of getting into this, I couldn't imagine what an advantage it would be to have had that. Click levers, being able to hear that kind of noise, that haptic feedback. I mean, that would be like, what would my excuse be for not being able to perform good haircuts? If with all this technology, if we go back in the day when we were cutting hair with, you know, corded clippers and everything like that, kind of compare that to like the technology in sports or in golf or really in anything else. The technology just wasn't there. But them guys got it done anyways. But I mean, imagine what they would have done with some of the newer stuff that's out here. So it is a lot of fun to cut hair with some of this new stuff. And I think we're in a culture too where, like, I don't want to say clippers are disposable, but we get bored. You know, I was having a meeting about this. It was like a sales meeting, and they're like, why are people buying so many clippers now? And I just said, like, I think once you understand the gist of this occupation, like once you're good enough at cutting hair where you no longer have to think about it and it just happens automatically, then it becomes a little bit boring. So you have a choice. You can buy new tools that make it interesting and fun again sometimes, or you center your efforts around different aspects. You know, I would say that for me personally, after that happened, I definitely went through a period of boredom where I'm just sitting there, I'm doing every haircut, I'm like, la 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 la, nothing to think about here. This is as monotonous as anything else can be in life. And I realized, like, okay, I need to find other things to center on. So that's when I started to really grow my business well, I got to that point, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to really put my spotlight, all my energy on the customer. I'm going to get them talking. I'm going to get them, you know, having a good time. I'm going to make sure I cater to every whim, and I'm really paying more attention to them, what they're saying, if their answers are short or if they're long. Like, if you get them talking, you win. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you don't need to focus on what you're doing, it frees your brain up to do practically anything else. So, yes, sometimes for me, that is definitely, it had me go around a traffic accident, huh? How about that? I never had to take this way before. This is cool. But, yeah, sometimes, you know, picking up that new tool, it gives you kind of like a, you know, just a fun and interesting thing. It's like you put on new shoes. Can you walk with your old shoes? Sure. But the new shoes look better. You might be able to run a little faster. Who knows? He said, hi, bro. How you doing? Where you from? I am from Buffalo, New York, originally. Actually, Niagara Falls, New York. Matter of fact, I just seen Philip Wolf's story. I actually had this hat for a while. Kept all the stickers on here just to aggravate you guys. I actually seen Philip Wolf. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a world-class educator. This guy's a boss. He's a cosmetologist. I used to see how many people this guy can get around his stage when he goes on it. But he was actually in Niagara Falls. I guess he was teaching a class or something. I don't know. But he took a picture by the Niagara Falls. I thought to myself, I know exactly where he was. I know exactly where he was hanging out. And I didn't really do my beard today. It's a little wild. I'm going to get a tattoo right now, you guys. So I'm on my let's just stay comfortable kind of thing. So, like, when I get a tattoo, oddly enough, it's not so much the pain of the tattoo that I care about. It's actually like the glaring overhead lights, man. So I always put the hat over my eyes. I always put the sunglasses on, and that stops me from getting like a headache. Because sometimes, like, you're just sitting there, like, with the arms and stuff. Sometimes we went for 8 hours straight, and after 8 hours straight with that light just beaming on you, man, every time I left, even with sunglasses on, sometimes I'd get a bad headache that night. So I try to do things to prevent that, you know what I mean? But right now, on this arm, I'm actually going to get the first ever barber tattoo. Like, it's actually going to be, to me, it's not just about, like, the cutting of the hair. To me, this is actually a little bit deeper than that. See, my great-grandmother kind of raised me like my mother, really. She was like my mother growing up. And she was a hairdresser. And this has been in my family forever. So it's not really like I want to go get a barber tattoo to show the world I'm a barber. It's more like when I look at that, I want to think about her and this business and all it's done for our family. Because it's not just me. Like, I was raised by her putting money on the table through doing this. So for me, it means just a little bit more than just a job. So that's just the way that I look at it. And each one of the tattoos that I get, kind of every one of them has like a meaning. But instead of writing the word barber or whatever, like, I like to do something. So I have to show you guys in a follow-up video, because I don't think I'm gonna want to go live again tonight. I'll probably be spent when this is over. But yeah, so little by little, and then I got the tattoo of the camera on my arm. You know, kind of made a lot of my living with a camera in the hand too. So it's just kind of like, to me, I think that if you think about all the things that you love to do, like, what are you most passionate about? Drop it in the comments right now. Like, and I'm not talking about barbering. I'm just saying, like, if you could go on tomorrow, whatever your hobby that you spend the most money on, Like if you could go off tomorrow and there was something you could say, I could do that every single day. What's the answer? What's the answer? Because for me it was cutting hair. And then, you know, after I mastered cutting hair, it became boring, and I had to find other ways to push it. So then it became going to shows and getting on stage and just finding other ways to push myself out of the comfort zone. And one of the other things that I became just absolutely in love with was cameras. I love cameras. Like if I get in a room with another person who really understands content creation and cameras and you know, just all the different things from the Kodaks to the frames per second to the, I could literally work in a camera store. I would love it, and my customer service would be second to none. And you know, it's something, it's stuff like that when you just realize the things that you love are what you're actually going to bring a lot of success to your life, you just find a business around that. I remember spending like, I don't know what it was. It's like, man, back when I really had much money too, I was spending money on cameras all the time. It's like $1,000 here, 500 there, a memory card here. I started looking at all this, man. I'm like, man, I'm spending a lot of dough right me on this camera stuff. I needed to do something with this, you know? So that kind of inspired me to start my video company, and that allowed me to spend money on the things I love again, you know, whereas like now it's a business expense. So he said, stop talking, give me a job. I wish, bro. All right, yo. So anyways, ask for a job, then tells me to stop talking. How about this? How about you just you know, go keep working at McDonald's? He said, dope beard, man. I ain't got the patience to grow mine out like that. I get to a quarter of that and I trim it. I mean, you know, it can be hard too, especially when you're in the barbershop with all the stuff. We got all the sharp tools around us. We could just cut it off in a heartbeat. But I don't know. I made the decision that I don't, as of right now, I don't ever foresee myself cutting my hair, my beard ever again. I don't think I'll ever do that. So at the end of the day, he said, I live in Europe. He said, Dominic Daniel, it says, hi, new here, live in Europe. Thanks, man. Appreciate you jumping in here. David, I'm doing well, man. How you doing? So, anyways, I see Akash Tadake. He says, give me a job. What are your skill sets, man? Because the thing that I'm going to be looking for here pretty soon is definitely going to be more editors. I need to free myself of the burden of editing constantly. Like there's so much more I could accomplish if I could trust an editor. And one of the problems with editing barber content for a normal editor is they're not a barber. They don't really have the eye to see, like, what is this a good angle? Is this something, you know, you need to keep? Is this something you should cut out? Like they don't have the know-how for that. I tried to hire outsourced editors before, but in the interim, I wound up having to re-edit all the videos over and over again. So like I got to a point where I was like, why am I paying these guys to edit my videos if I'm just gonna have to re-edit the video anyways? So, you know, I'm very comfortable with every NLE. I spend a lot of my time editing. Probably spend, I don't know, I'd say about 5 to 7 hours every single day I spend. It's the first thing I do. Wake up at 5 a.m., load up my footage, or pick up where I left off the day before. Fresno up in here. Let's go. He said, big bad Fresno up in here. That's funny, man. Now, so, you know, when I wake up in the morning, I get up, I get the computer out, I get the coffee out. It's actually my favorite part of the day. My brain's like fully online again, and I'm able to just kind of get into the zone and get a lot of stuff done. Like this morning, I got a ton done. I got real good amount ton done. Yeah. Imagine editing 5 to 7 hours a day so that you can get 2,000 views. What a retard. See ya, bitch. But anyways, when you get right down to it, if even, you know, and the funny thing is too, is like, people gonna say dumb shit like that. That's good on them. And I'm gonna explain to you guys something too. I tell people this all the time. Like, I'm not a success story. I'm not. I'm just somebody who wouldn't give up. And at the end of the day, if I post a video and it does get 2,000 views, I'm gonna post another one, and another one, and another one. And you can check my resume. Every once in a while they hit. I got a lot of videos, over 900 actually, to help you learn. And at the end of the day, I'm not posting videos just for views. I'm posting videos to help people, and I know that's what I'm doing. So when it comes to my mission and what I'm trying to do, I'm satisfied in that. I'm satiated, and believe me when I tell you, brother, we're doing good. We're doing good. So at the end of the day, when you do what you want to do, I wake up in the morning and I do stuff because I want to do it. I don't do stuff in the morning because I have to do it. And that's a whole different type of mind state. Anybody can use an excuse to give up, quit, but I still think about that guy at the gym, or I think about any one of those people that you guys were seeing when we were talking about earlier, with people who are handicapped and having trouble, but they're still showing up. They're still getting into, you know, they're still getting into the gym. They're still getting into the Olympics. They're still doing things. So at the end of the day, he said, I got a low tolerance for trolls. I do, bro. I do. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But like, it's like people jump in the room, they talk slick like they know me or something like that. For all you know, it's kind of hilarious. But at the end of the day, like, that's what I'm talking about. It'd be females like that guy Nick. That's just a female trait. You know, people talk like that. You're gonna ask me for a job and talk all that goofiness. But anyways, the live is going off the rails, you guys. I about had it. I'm actually about to pull into the tattoo shop here in a second. If you guys are ever in Cape Coral, Florida, actually, there's a place here called Forever Tattoo. All the people that work there are great. They're just a good group of people. They work really hard to make sure that you have a good experience. It's super, super clean, very, very professional. And when you get right down to it, that's all you could ask for when you go to get a tattoo. So, what up, Eric? Good to see you, Eric Weber. He said, I'm from Russia. My city is, oh God, how do we say this? Ekaterinburg. Ekaterinburg. I'm probably not saying that right. Probably not saying that right, though. So, anyways, you guys, it's been real. Really do appreciate you guys for hopping in here, supporting the channel as always. We will be back probably come Friday. I'll try to do a live with you guys. If you guys seen that, Kevin, one of the guys I did lives on all the time on Fridays, Kevin, he's out of here. You know, he moved. He's up in Virginia. We got to find a good barber in Virginia to take care of him. Anybody in Virginia, stand up. Yekaterinburg is the largest city in Russia. Is that right? I mean, dude, I'm so interested in that. Like, I would love to go and see Russia one day. I really would. I think it'd be super cool. Probably when things cool down a little bit, that might be worth a go. Are you close to Washington, D.C., Amy? From what I understand, he's like 30 miles north of the actual city, the actual capital. I gotta ask him. I gotta ask him. But yeah, he's a good customer. He'll come every 2 weeks, and you'll love Kevin like we all love Kevin. So, what more do you want me to show you with the beard? The beard is a mess right now. The beard's supposed to be straight, and it would come down to about right here. But you know, I had to get in the shower real quick, and I didn't blow it dry because I'm just gonna go get a tattoo. I'm gonna need another shower anyway, so I really didn't even care that much. But all right, guys. Until next time, this is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'm out of here. Peace.